The basic premise is understanding the importance in terms of our eschatology on understanding Israel's place in the purpose of God at the time of Jesus in the first century and how that affects our understanding of eschatology. And you will see pretty quickly that my perspective is not as common today with what we call a futurist perspective, where there's a coming Antichrist and tribulation, all this stuff is future. But I'm suggesting to you, as many scholars have understood, that much of this story in terms of our understanding of end times really is first century history. And we have gone through, as I said, the background in part one of the book tells you a little bit how I came to these conclusions. In part two, we've studied the Olivet Discourse, and I tried to demonstrate that all Jesus was talking about with the wars and rumors of war and coming clouds of glory and the destructions and the tribulation really is all evidenced in first century, not only in the history but in the Bible itself, and the language and style, or what we call the linguistic style, which Jesus spoke, reflects back on similar circumstances in their previous destruction of the city and temple in 586 BC. And remarkably, those two events happened on the same day of the year, what the Jews call the 9th of Av, which is a great day of mourning and fasting for the Jews. It was the destruction of their temple, two separate invasions, one in 586 BC by the Babylonians, and then this last one in 70 AD. And as I've been saying and will continue to say, this is not an indictment against Jewish people in general. It is simply a reflection of historical context of how the gospel impacted the civilized world. And this is all part of the redemptive story, a very significant part of the redemptive story. And so we are looking at these things through the lens of a first century context and how that impacts our understanding of eschatology. And I have suggested to you, and will continue to suggest to you unapologetically, by the way, that we have taken many things that Jesus and the apostles were forecasting for their own generation, and we've catapulted them out into the future as if they had to do with us. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't learn from all Scripture, but the prophetic events that they were speaking of, the specific prophetic events, already happened. And I would include at least most of Revelation with that. And I don't have a perfect, fully orbed eschatology here. I'm not saying I have every question answered, but I believe that this is largely history, okay? And we've tried to demonstrate that through the Scriptures, letting the Scriptures interpret the Scriptures, not just my own harebrained ideas, but letting what do the Scriptures say about these things?